Hi Stampers! Welcome to Great Inspirations. My name is Kim Tolbert and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in southeastern Indiana. And I want to welcome you to another video in my Stamp Happy Holidays series. And today we're going to talk about foiled papers. I don't know about you, but I always love those papers that have foil embedded in them, or they're just nice shiny foils like the gold foil paper, or for example the Granny Apple Green and Melon Mambo foil paper that was used for this card, or just a myriad of other foiled papers that Stampin' Up! Puts out. So my problem is I tend not to use them very often. I just love them so much, but then I go to use them and I just don't. So today I thought we'd find a way to use those papers. The first way, as you can see here, are some cards, but we'll talk about these cards in a moment. Another way I decided to use these papers was to make tags. And I made a variety of tags from a variety of foiled papers. And these tags, there are basically two designs I made from the Snowflake Magic Designer Series paper. And all of the tags that I made, I used some dies, a set of dies called the tailor-made tags. There are two styles. There's this one with the diagonally cut corners, and there's this one with a more ornate top. But I chose to use this design. And in a bit, I will show you, if you do not have these dies, I will show you how to get this look just by using what you have at home. But anyway, like I said, here are the Snowflake Magic tags. And what I did was this tag, I used the largest one right here, and it's approximately 2 inches wide by 4 inches long. So what I did, I just cut my papers so they were 2 inches wide. And if you have a 12 by 12 sheet and you cut it 2 inches wide by 12, then you will get 3 tags. But then what I also did, I cut the back just from basic white cardstock. So what I did, I cut myself a strip that was 2 inches wide, and I only had 8.5 by 11 inch cardstock, so it was 11 inches long. But I was able to get 2 tags out of that, and then just cut some more strips and continued the process of cutting these 2 pieces out together. And then what that does, sometimes you do have to adhere them together, but a lot of times you don't have to, because when you cut these together and they have this stitching along the edge, they tend to stay together, and then especially when you put the little ribbon through the top, it holds the tag together just fine. So these are the 2 styles. This snowflake was actually from a die that retired in 2018. So I just encourage you to use what you have. You know, these are new foiled papers, but I used other things that I have in my stash just to embellish them a bit. So here are those tags with the Snowflake Magic foiled papers. Then these were made using the, it was a paper called Shining Christmas. It's all foiled and all very shiny. And there are 4 designs: the trees, the holly, candy canes, and the gifts. And this paper was while supplies last, and it's no longer available. But like I said, use what you have at home, because I imagine you are like me and probably have some foiled papers you can use for tags. And I've used a variety of ribbons, some of them current and some of them are not. Use, again, what you have. And then again on the back, just the basic white, and I stamped the to and from. So there are those. I just thought these were pretty enough. They didn't need any embellishment on the front. You could put some gems or something on there, but I just thought those were really pretty just plain. So then for the next group of tags, I used the Joyful Specialty Designer paper, which is in the current Stampin' Up! Mini catalog. And just have Noel on this one, and this is from Joyous Christmas. I just stamped it. This is crumb cake ink. And then here's another one of the papers with the gold foil, and I just used some glimmer paper, which again, this was one that is available while supplies last. Gold and silver was in the package, and it had adhesive on the back. But if you just have some regular gold glimmer paper, that would work just fine. And then, again, these two designs, I thought they were just fine on their own, so I didn't put anything on them. And they are on the white with the to and from, oops, on the back. So there are those tags. Then my last group of tags, I used the tartan foil and the Classic Christmas and the Joyful Christmas dies. And I just put some greenery on them. I know these are not really traditional Christmas colors with the pebbled path and the copper clay, but I thought they looked just really nice and woodsy and natural, and I know I like that kind of a look, and so do some other people in my life that I'm thinking of gifting these tags to. And again, on the back, just a to and from, and I used some of the cord that's in the annual catalog in the colors of copper clay and the pebbled path. So that used up a lot of my foiled papers. And then I did move on to the cards. But before we talk about these particular cards, I thought we would talk a little bit about the tags. Put these away. And like I said, the tailor-made tags, I use this design and the largest tag. So if you do not have this tag, it's really simple to make a very similar looking tag. And on my corresponding blog post for this video, there will be this little chart that tells you how to make a template so that you can get a tag that resembles the one I made with this die. So you're just going to need to be sure to have your pieces of foiled paper. It's 2x4, and then a piece of basic white cardstock or any color you like for the back of your tag. Again, 2x4. So you will need those. And then I took a piece of printer paper. Now you could use an old piece of designer series paper. You could use an index card. You can use cardstock, but I find cardstock is a little stiff, a little bit too thick for this particular template. But all I did was I folded, again, 2x4. I folded it in half, and then I took it to my trimmer and I just cut off the corner right there. And I got something that looked like this. Now I've traced this several times to make this, so that's why there's some black ink on it. But see, I just folded it, took it to the trimmer, and just cut my corners. Now if you're really brave, you could also just use your snips. Go like this, and there you go. And then all you would need to do, see, these are a little different, but that's okay. It's a similar look. And then you will need to, of course, have a way to punch a hole, which you can use a little hole punch, a crocodile. If you have a little tiny die, you could use that. But I would suggest you use the back side of your designer series paper or your cardstock. These will be the sides that will be on the inside of the tag. And you can just, let me get a pen here, just draw where you need to cut and then just snip it. And like I say, do the same on this. Get it all even. Draw your little corners. And then you can just cut them off. I think I would do it, put the pieces that are going to be outside together trim, trim, and there you go. There is your tag. Like I said, you need to punch a hole in the top, and then you can embellish it as you so desire. But it's just that easy to get a very similar look. Let me grab one of these to this tag. Okay, so we'll put that away for now. And we'll put away our dies. And we'll talk a little bit about the cards. I don't know why I don't use my foil papers more. I think I'm just afraid, oh, am I wasting it? Am I going to make a mistake? Or does that really look right? But I really like the ways I came up with for these cards. For this one, they're just simple faux ornaments. I just used some circle dies. And these were from the Reach for the Stars dies. They're actually meant to be planets, I think, but they're circles, so I used them. And I cut the circles out, and then I embossed them using this Snowflake Sky embossing folder. And then I just drew my lines. I used a smoky slate marker. I'm thinking maybe I would have liked a different color, but I'm going to stick with that. That's the color I chose for the little strings that the ornaments are hanging on. And then I just used some ribbon to kind of decorate the top of the ornaments. And like I said, I did emboss them with the Snowflake Sky embossing folder, added a greeting, and then I just put another greeting on the inside. So that was a very simple way to make that card. And then for this card, all I did, that's the card from the leftover pieces. Here we go. All I did for this card was I cut out my tree from this foiled paper from the Joyful Christmas. And then I had some gold foil, and I cut this 3 3/4 by 5. And then in the middle, I cut out this tree, but it's this one right here. And then I just put this tree back in where I'd cut out and put it up on dimensionals and added a greeting. Now after I'd cut this and die cut the tree out, I did emboss it with the Merry Music embossing folder. And then this is basically the leftovers from this card went over to here. I had this tree die cut, so I put it through the embossing folder, just popped it on a background, and then put a little layer of the gold foil underneath. Added some of those festive pearls in gold, and I thought that made a really cute Christmas card. I know there's no greeting on the front, but I did put Merry Christmas inside. Sometimes I just think cards are just fine with no greeting on the front. So I thought we'll walk through these cards, and I will just give you some tips on what I did. We'll start with the faux ornaments. And I have my little bows, and this is from that open weave ribbon, and it is actually Parakeet Party and Sweet Sorbet, but I thought it looked really good with the ornaments. And let's see, what do we have here? We have our card base. This one's Granny Apple Green. This one's Melon Mambo. And like I say, all the supplies for these cards and the measurements and all that stuff will be on my corresponding blog post, and the link to that blog post will be in the description of this video, so you don't need to worry about writing all these measurements down. So I'm going to fold my card base, get my bone folder. There we go with that. And then we have the front layer for where we're going to put our ornaments. And then this is the inside. May your Christmas be merry and bright. And I think we'll just go ahead and put that inside our card base. And I thought this was a good sentiment because these colors are certainly merry and bright. This right here, and then we're just going to decide where do we want our ornaments. And then I get them, I'm like, okay, do I like that? No, I need to move it up a little bit. Move this one up. Yes, I kind of like that. But now, the tricky part, we're going to move these down, because that way we'll have plenty of space to draw our strings, and then we can move them up or down any way we want to. Now, like I said, I die cut these first, then I emboss them. And you might notice a difference. I'll show you these and these. These are definitely embossed. These, for whatever reason, I put in backwards and I debossed them. But that's okay, they still look great. So either way works. And I just think that embossing, or in this case debossing, really added something to the foil. So anyway, I'm going to take my marker, and then all you need is a straight edge. And since I don't have a ruler over here, I'm going to take this piece of cardstock that we just, yeah, it'll be okay. It is white, but that's okay. And we are just going to line it up, take the marker, and I'm going to use this point, like the pen point, and just draw my line. Then I'm going to move it to the next ornament, find where I want my line, and then just draw my line. Then, let me see where we had this one now. Okay, going to go to this one, and just draw our line. There we go. Now, all we need to do is adhere these. So we'll just put some adhesive on the back here. This fixed right here. And I'm going to put this one and the smaller one, the larger one, we will put on some dimensionals. Some dimensionals for the back of this one. And you may see I do have quite a bit of ink all over me today, and I'm not even sure how I did that. And some of this is blue, like it looks like Night of Navy, or it might be Blueberry Bushel, but I don't remember using either one of those colors, but I probably did and just forgot. Okay, so now we'll just put this right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp our greeting, which on this one I use Season's Greetings. And on this one, since we are going to have the Granny Apple Green card base as opposed to the Melon Mambo, we'll stamp our greeting in Granny Apple Green. I think I'll flip this over. Just get our stamp all inked up nice and inky there. And we'll just stamp it down here towards the bottom. There we go. And now we need to put those, well, you know what? I'm going to put it on the card base, and we'll put the bows on. Let's live dangerously. Okay. This on here as straight as possible. And now we'll just use I use glue dots to put these on. So I got here it is. I take your pick tool and use the little pokey tool here, a little paper piercing tool. Get back to my glue dot here. All right, there we go. And I just folded it over and folded it over again. and put the larger one on first. Just going to stick that right on there. And get it right up here at the top of my ornament. Let's see if we can. There we go. And we'll trim the ends here in a minute. Put the other two ribbons on. Just fold it over and fold it over again. Put it right in the knot of that bow. And put that right up there. Then one more. I'm going to fold it over and then fold it over again. Sometimes it's easier than other times. I think our bow's falling apart here. Okay, just put it right on there and then put it at the top. And we'll do just a little bit of trimming on some of these. Dump that off over here. There we go. And then just a tad on this side. Ugh. Got some more. That ribbon does kind of fray very easily, but it is very pretty and very sparkly. Okay. So there we are. And there is this card, my little faux ornament card. And now we'll move along to this card, which I pretty much told you how I made it, but I have another version here. Have the Merry Christmas. This is Lost Lagoon. This is more of that snowflake magic paper, and as you can see, that's what I took a piece of basic white that's 3 3/4 by 5. I cut the tree out of the middle, and we're going to adhere that right here. And then we'll be putting this tree back in here only on dimensionals. Then we'll add our greeting, take care of the insides, and maybe put a few more embellishments on here. I'm not quite sure yet. We'll see. But let's go ahead and put some adhesive on this. Like I said, I die cut it first and then ran it through that Snowflake Skies embossing folder. Again, you can use whatever you have, and it doesn't have to be a tree. If you have like some other Christmas, be it a gift, a die cut that's a gift, or an animal, or a star, a snowman, whatever you have will be just fine. And then, like I say, we have this that we're going to put some dimensionals on it. I really do like this Snowflake Magic foiled paper, so I'm happy I'm using it. Because that's, you know, we buy these supplies, we need to use them. And I'm really bad about it sometimes. That's why I had that die from 2018. I just keep everything. And to be honest, I do use my dies a lot, whether they're current or retired. And there's just a lot of things that I do use current or retired, but I do try to show you, for the most part, things that are current so you can get them if you like. But sometimes it's just good to have a reminder that we can use what we have on hand. And now I'm going to put this right here. So I'm going to put adhesive on it, but I'm just going to put adhesive kind of in the middle since this is up on dimensionals. If you wanted, you could put a dimensional on each end. It's up to you. I'm just going to put some adhesive in the middle. Kind of place that right here. And then on the inside, I have peace and joy to you and yours. We'll just adhere that. And there's that card. I thought about these little dots are the festive pearls, and they're calling them green now, but they were the soft succulent color. But I thought they looked really good with the Lost Lagoon. And I was thinking of putting one in the center of each of these little embossed snowflakes, but as I'm looking, I really don't think it needs it. I think this will be fine. I think that makes a nice card. It's very similar to this one, just different colors and different embossing folders. And then this is the one we made with the leftovers. And I'll show you the one I made with the leftover tree from this one that was in the basic white. I understand it's not a foil, but all I did, it was basic white, but I just took some Lost Lagoon ink and sponge dauber and went over it. And then I used some of those festive pearls in the silver and just put in the center of the snowflakes and a few other places. And then I just stamped the Merry Christmas directly on the designer series paper, which I think this is Dashing Through the Snow or One Horse Open Sleigh. The name of it will be on my blog, and then just Peace to and Joy to You and Yours. So that's what I did with the leftover tree from this one. And like I said, I know this isn't a foil, but it is using your die cut. So let me kind of spread all these out. And here are little faux ornament cards. And that's just some ideas you can do with your foils. And then of course there are all these tags that I made using those foiled papers. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope that this encourages you and inspires you to get out your foiled papers and create some things to make the holidays happy for you and yours. So until next time, stamp happy.